Tyrese, and I'm a very proud grandfather to my grandson, Nathan. And Nathan was over at my house last night, and we were watching the Toronto Raptors play a basketball game. I was watching Wheel. I'm a Wheel watcher, and he switched the channel on me, and we just started watching these boys play basketball. We were sharing a bowl of Cheetos, and the game was so close at the end, and I started choking on my Cheetos. And my mouth was orange, and I told him, call the ambulance. I'll call the ambulance. I was so nervous because I was choking on the Cheetos. Anyways, Raptors won.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. I'm your host, as you know, Mr. El Hoopo, the H-O-O-P-O. And with my co-host and the other host, you know who it is, A.Rod, A-R-O-D. And a very special guest today, Neighborhood Steve. And welcome, everybody. I'm glad your 2 ears are tuned in. And here we go. What's up, boys?
What's up, man? Let's go.
How's it going?
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, let's introduce Neighborhood Steve. Neighborhood Steve is from the neighborhood. What's going on, Steve?
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. He's joining us on a very special day in America, not here in Canada. We already had our Thanksgiving, but a big shout out to the United States of America. They are celebrating Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. Yes. So salute to you, America, from us to you.
Happy Turkey Day, but not happy Turkey Day because no NBA today. So good on you, US.
Man. I know they just go straight football.
Yeah, I know they went football 12 to 12, but it's all good.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody needs a little bit of time away.
That's true. Well, let me set the play real quick. Raptors first game. Let's start. You guys want to start with the win or start with the loss? I'll leave it in your hands. Let's start. Yeah, let's get the loss out of the way. All right, we always do this. Well, we don't always do this. We just started doing this, Steve. So one word that comes to mind after that Orlando loss. Give it to me. One word.
All right, it's 2 words, but no dogs.
Okay.
No dogs.
Okay.
Like Pat Beverly, he ripped into us, said we had no dogs on our team, and I don't necessarily believe that, but that game kind of showed me he was onto something a little bit.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs just punked us hard that game.
Fuck Jalen Suggs.
He took over for that stretch there, and he looked like he was Kobe. Like,
I know he had his tongue out. He was acting crazy. He's going bald like early LeBron bald. You notice that?
Yeah, I did.
I noticed that, but anyways, yeah, I get you. What about you, A-Rod?
Ugly game.
I'm going to go with Steve. I'm going to go with Pussycats.
Oy.
That's my one word, man, because definitely ain't no dogs, man.
Meow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Man, you know what? These guys, they find new ways to help me expect the disappointment. You know, like you're thinking, okay, it's Orlando. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's Orlando beating us.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, are we really that surprised? I don't know. Like,
no, I'm not. I wasn't surprised.
And
my word. Hold on. Let me get my word and then you continue.
All right.
I just want to get it out of here because it's stinking on my mouth right now. Mine is poo breath. Mine's poo breath. Anyways, yeah, continue. I
was going to say, you remember the last pod I talked about how Ben Carroll was a turnover machine. And
oh,
we gotta
man.
start, making sure that this guy's giving up those passes, letting the ball rip. But what did we do? We allowed him to, play his game, get comfortable. We allowed the majority of those guys to get comfortable. Suggs, like Steve said, went off. I mean, he's still mad about that 4th selection.
Yep.
So
he really does. Like he treats Raptor games like his Super Bowl. He really takes it personal, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be one of those Raptor killers, I think, for years to come.
Like a Doug McDermott sort of thing. Yeah. Well, let me. I'm trying to bring it up here. Okay, there it is. So the score for everybody that didn't watch it or shut it off, and the only reason I didn't shut it off is because of this pod. But the Magic finished with 126 to the Raptors 107, and it was a complete. It was embarrassing. It was disrespectful to basketball. It was Angels getting their wings cut. There was a lot of just nastiness going on. It was like dirty evangelical priests. You know what I mean? Like it was really gross. It was just gross. So yeah. Anyways, what did you see? What did you take from it besides what you've already said? Anyone jump in? Go ahead.
I think like one of the biggest themes this year has just been turnovers. They have the sloppiest turnovers, and I guess maybe we were just used to the Nick Nurse teams where they just took care of the ball, right? Obviously, you're going to have turnovers every game, but there was a real emphasis on taking care of the ball with those Nick Nurse squads, and I'm not really seeing that with this Darko team, and it's just the most frustrating thing when you just sloppy passes getting picked off. It's just sloppy, it's undisciplined, and it just drives me crazy.
Well, let me add to that.
Even in our wins, we're turning the ball over. But
I think the head of the monster. You brought up a very good point. Sloppy, and I think it comes from the top. Schroeder is not a facilitator, and when his passes are just so risky. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but every one of these like little skip passes he throws, these little they're just. Guys aren't ready for them, and it's sloppy, and it's creating a lot of just mayhem and chaos on the court. I'm finding, but. I don't know. A-Rod, what are you saying? So I agree with you totally.
I'm going to go with Steve, man. Turnovers, interesting theme, because you know what? We have been quite sloppy. And also, to give full credit to the Magic actually lead the league in forcing turnovers right now, right? Just where they're at right now. They might not be there later on, but where they're at right now after these games, they're averaging, I think it's around 18.5. They're forcing people to turn the ball.
And they look like old school Pistons defense. It was crazy.
My thing, though, with the Raptors, what I find really interesting is on defense. Last year, and also in the Nick Nurse era, we relied on a lot of hard closeouts, especially, to really, get people off the three-point line. Mm-hmm. And we're relying on these guys' athleticism. With the Darko era, it's a little bit different. When I'm watching it, I'm seeing that these guys are actually trying to bank their defense on decision-making. So they're playing men and allowing guys to go past, but nobody knows really when to step up or who to cover or who to rotate to. So you're seeing a lot of really, easy buckets happen from the offense on the other team. You're seeing a lot of dump offs, a lot of little lobs, easy layups. It's pretty frustrating, especially when they're not playing good teams and you're watching a team just score relatively easily.
Yeah. And to flip it to the other side, I want to get it out of the way that there's one guy on that squad on Orlando that I could just keep watching. Is Franz Wagner. This guy is so steady and just so smart. And I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's just you just know exactly what you're gonna get from this guy. And I think Orlando has a gem in him, but I don't know. I just wanted to get that out of the way. But
he's on the German team, right?
Yeah, man.
And you said we got some listeners from Germany, so we got to shout out.
That's
Germany
right.
Now, see?
Hey,
plugged it right in there. Let's go.
Yeah, whoever's listening in Germany, we just noticed on the analytic robot for this podcast that we noticed we have some listeners from Germany. So we salute you from the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. Thank you for your ears. I don't know. Anything else you want to touch on this game? I mean, the one thing I think on the Raptors end that OG is still kind of coming back very slow from his kitchen incident. Who knows what that was all about? But other than that,
he went to Bed Bath and Beyond with that one.
Hey,
saying, here all night.
Yes, sir. I don't know anything else, Dave, on that game, or we could just let that one go.
I think it's just one of those games you just got to forget about. And just move on, which they did, I guess.
Yes, they did. And that's a perfect lob into the next game. So the Indianapolis King Tyrese of the land of Indiana, Hoosierville. Let's get a one-word description of what you saw last night. A-Rod, hit me one word for that Pacer game.
F1.
Hey.
F1.
Right?
That was quick. That was quick. Lots of back and forth. I think we had 20-plus lead changes.
It was crazy, man.
It was a fun game. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
What about you? One word, Steve-O.
Oh, that's a tough one. I almost want to say, it's kind of a weird one, but, nostalgic in a way, because I just remember, having my heart racing with Raptor games when they're tight games, and I haven't felt that way in a while. But this game made me feel it got me some feelings just watching.
You got that love back.
Yeah, it was such an awesome game to watch. And it just made me feel I don't know. It just brought back some feelings that I used to feel when watching the Raptors.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was shell casings because it was a shootout, so you could just hear the shell casings. It was just back and forth, just bang, 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 bang. It's just what is happening? But beautiful game. So let's get right into it then. So it was a 132-131. Like Steve-O said, it was a tight one. And it did bring back that old school feel of like a real tight game. I don't even think we've had one like that this season. I know the comeback against Dallas ended up being tight near the end, right? Other than that, I don't think we've had a game like this yet. But what do you guys see? And what are some of the things that we can take from this game and hopefully take this positivity into the next one? Anyone jump in? A.Rod, go ahead, bro.
There was no clock management. There was no trying to Jordan Poole that game, man, like the other night.
You see that video?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, man.
This guy's becoming the new Ben Simmons, man.
I've seen some crazy shit. That was great, man. That was content gold right there, man.
This guy.
But you know what? These guys, they were just going for it, man. As soon as Tyrese got a rebound outlet immediately, man. There was no chance for anybody to set up defense at all, man. And it was basically just one pass. Let's go into the shot.
Yeah.
They fed the Raptors early, but you know what? Full credit to the Raps. They stuck with it, hung around for a while, and usually when you hang around long enough, you can take advantage of the younger teams, and they did that, man. It's kind of like the second time with that. They did that with Spurs as well too, right?
Yes.
They hung around in that game long enough and completed the comeback, right? So
I don't know about you guys, but Tyrese Halliburton, to me, it has to be in the MVP conversation for this year.
He's one of my favorite players in the league right now.
Right?
He's so good.
He's a lot of people's favorite players right now.
I think so good.
It's just so good. He's just and his shot doesn't look right. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's stiff to me, but it works. It works. Yeah. And what did you see in the game, Steve-O? What are some of the things that you took from it?
I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about, right? Like Pascal was excellent. Dennis the Menace was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought our timeouts.
He did get back on that one.
Our timeouts are really good. We seem to get a bucket after every timeout we called. I thought Flynn, best game of the season for him.
Yes.
And one thing which I kind of was thinking about during the game is I think Dennis is like a great mentor for Flynn because they have kind of a similar play style in a way. Like they can both slash to the net. They both got a little bit of size. They both have.
Flynn has size now. His dad put him on that bologna and steroid diet over the summer because he was not this big last year.
No, he looks like he's a bit bigger though, right? And
yeah.
I just think I don't know if Van Vliet was like the type of player to mentor Malachi in the way that maybe Dennis is. Like, Dennis seems to be super hype whenever Flynn does something. Like, he's like his number one hype man. If you look at the bench and he does something good. I think that's like a great kind of
that's a good vet to have, absolutely.
Yeah, good vet relationship, which I think is potentially going to save Flynn's career.
Last year for Fred, he was just sour. He just there was a lot of sourness.
He wanted to leave, man.
He wanted to leave. Yeah. I think on the side of Indiana, if we want to go to the other side besides King Tyrese, is what's that kid's name? Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield gets put into the starting lineup. The game before. Yes, indeed. I think he hit his first 9 threes or something like that.
Ridiculous.
Like he couldn't miss. Even Jack was like, "This guy can't miss." And man, he looked good. And I think that was a nice Carlisle move to put him in the starting lineup. I don't know if you guys know. Obviously, you noticed that. But Ben Mathurin, I'm feeling for this kid, the Canadian Montreal kid. I don't know what's going on with him. Sophomore jinx. He just can't hit a bucket right now. But I hope he can get it together.
He'll get there, man. He's a hard worker. He didn't get here without working hard, so I'm not really that worried about him.
No.
It's just that the way the roster is kind of laid out on Indiana, he's kind of in the doghouse right now.
What did you guys say? Oh, they got Obi Toppin over there.
And
the old Nick.
Listen, what's crazy is like you got Buddy Hield, who was an absolute beast at Oklahoma, and then you got Obi Toppin, who was a monster at Dayton.
He looks right in Indiana.
And now he
looks good.
And now you got both those guys playing like heavy duty minutes, and they're both playing extremely well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice to see that. It's good for them, man.
Yeah.
I know they were on different teams with different situations, right? Like, Toppin was on the Knicks, barely even seeing the court. Buddy was in SAC, but then he started going to the bench. So it was kind of rough for him. So it's good to see that.
Yeah.
It helps when you have such a dynamic point guard, right?
Man.
Halliburton just running the show.
Spoon feeds you.
He's going to make guys on his team look good, right?
I think, and then on the other side, we go back to the Raps. Scotty Barnes once again. This was one of the first games that I've been bringing it up every episode. I just feel like it's two magnets that don't work. It's the salt and pepper. It's the vinegar. It's they just aren't working. The San Quentin, they're not at the same table eating dinner. Da 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 da. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. Last night, for the first time, it kind of felt like they were playing off each other a little bit more almost for the first time, where it looked enjoyable, where it didn't look forced. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys saw that, but I definitely noticed that. Scotty finished with 20 and 12, 4 assists, 39 minutes, 38 minutes for Pascal, 36, 10 and 4. So they both had big games and barely got out of Indy. So keep that in mind. And 26 from Schroeder and 14 from Flynn. So they had to play a perfect game. Essentially, they had to play the perfect game. So anyways, I don't know if you guys got any other notes from that game.
Actually, not from the Pacers game, but from the Magic game. Because I seen some shit online, and I was just like, this is just really irritating me. So I got to bring this up for a bunch of the viewers as well, too. I saw a bunch of comments after the Raptors lost to Orlando. Yeah. And they were in the comment section saying, well, let's just focus on the regular season. Nobody cares about the play-in tournament. It's like, you idiots, these games double as a regular season game. So how can you separate them and say, oh, it's only the play-in tournament? They are the regular season, man. You cannot focus on one or the other. This just happens to mean more.
Because half of those people
possibly get, a trophy or something, right?
Half of those people making those comments don't know how to read, and they didn't Google what the tournament, what's happening. That's all.
It's craziness, man.
I don't know what to
with
think.
That loss, they're eliminated, right, from the play-in tournament. Raptors.
Are they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they lost to Boston and Orlando, and I think who else is in their group? I think Boston is number one in their group.
Yeah, Boston's number one, and I don't know, but they're out. So. All right, boys, I want to get out of Indy. And I think our next segment we're going to jump into, Steve-O, we do this segment called This or That. Okay. And we compare two different Raptors in two different situations. Doesn't have to be players even. We do two different situations, whatever, what have you. But the first sponsorship we have here for the Toronto Raptors Sports Ethos podcast comes from the great Popeyes supplements here in Toronto, who I buy my protein from. And let me tell you right now, this protein digests quite well with this guy. I don't have any issues with that stank booty in the gym, that's for sure. I can get what I gotta get out and get what I gotta get into me. And whatever I'm trying to build gets built right. So I suggest you go to Popeye Supplements today and go buy what you need to do to increase what you're trying to do in your fitness goals. So thank you, Popeye Supplements. We salute you, and thank you very much for jumping on the pod with us today, moving forward. So this or that. So, Steve-O, like I said, we compared two different people. And the first one we're going to do right here, two different Raptors, we're doing a street fight. So I got two old school Raptors here. And this time, all the other episodes, we've been doing these heavyweights. A.Rod, we've done some big-time heavyweights. This time, we're doing some middleweights. So in this corner, I got old school Doug Christie.
Okay.
In a street fight against another old school, we got Mr. Elvin Robertson. So we got Elvin Robertson versus Doug Christie. So who do you got? Jump in. Who do you got, A.Rod? I know it's a tough one, right?
I'm going with Doug Christie, man.
Hey.
I know. Alvin got the quad dub, but you know what? Doug Christie, he's still announcing. He's still commentating for the Kings.
Yeah.
He's still going. That tells me that he's got the longevity. I still remember Doug Christie used to average, I think, at least a steal a game back in the day.
Oh, he was a thief.
Yeah, and he used to always hit that corner three. He was one of the few 3-point shooters the Raptors had back in the day. So I'm still rocking with Doug, man.
Absolutely. How about you, Steve-O?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same answer. I love Doug Christie back in the day. He would just steal your cookies and hit a three in your eye.
Yeah, man.
He had kind of a crazy wife from what I remember.
Oh, you took my point.
Sorry. But, yeah, if the rumors about her were true, then, yeah, he's a soldier.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say my pick easily is Doug Christie because his wife was a crazy bitch. Supposedly, this woman had him just like vented and amped up all the time. And Elvin Robertson step up to Doug Christie after a bad day with his woman. Oh, no. Doug is a whack whack whack. He's gonna put him to sleep. So 2 punches. So yeah, so that's 3-0 for Doug Christie. I thought one of us would have picked the legend, Elvin Robertson, but. He was cut from stone, that boy. Okay, next one. This one's fun. This one's fun. I came up with this one on my run today. This one's gonna cause a lot of controversy.
No.
No, not controversy, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of conversation. That's what I mean. Sometimes
all right.
So who's your favorite play-by-play commentator for the Raptors? We got old school Chuck Swirsky.
Onions.
All right, Onions versus now old school current Jack Armstrong. So we got Chuck Swirsky, the great Chuck Swirsky versus Jack Armstrong. Give it to me, A.Rod.
All day Onions.
Hey.
Because you know what? Even when Chuck went to the Bulls, he still shouts out Toronto. He still talks about how he loves the city. So Chuck all day for me, man.
Man. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah, I might go with Swirsky as well, just because he made games so fun when the Raptors were so shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I remember when he'd pull out the salami and cheese.
Yeah.
Man. Like, just so corny.
I'm pretty sure he pulled out the salami and cheese against Kobe's 81. He was so confident we had that game, and then Kobe just went atomic, and I don't think he did it premature ever again after that.
Even Leo would call him out. Remember, be like, no, don't bring that out yet, Chuck.
I don't know. Swirsky was just a fun dude to listen to. But with that being said, Jack Armstrong's a legend.
Legend.
I would really hate to see him leave the broadcast. So
yeah, I'm gonna go, man. It was real difficult for me because I love Jack. Jack's my guy. I love Jack, and I used to think that Chuck was so corny. Like, I loved Chuck, but I just used to think he was just so corny. But Chuck has my crazy respect because, like A.Rod said, he still takes time to shout out the Raptors now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys remember the movie. It's like my favorite basketball movie of all time is Hoop Dreams. It was more of a documentary, but the greatest basketball movie I think ever was Hoop Dreams, Arthur Agee. And if you watch that movie again, if you watch the high school game where it was like the towers, I think it was, and it had the big centers and the power forward, they were just big boys. Chuck Swirsky's calling that game. Like, he is grassroots. He is the binding of basketballs. Like, he is a legend. And he was here? Like, yeah, so I because of that status, I have to give it to Chuck. But on-air personality, I have to take Jack. So I'm kind of 50-50. I know we're supposed to pick one, but...
It's tough. That's a tough one.
I know.
That was a good one. Good comparison there.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That was good.
All right, this one, another one I came up. I scratched. I was going to do who is the better GM. We'll save that one for after. But this one, while they're in their time here in Toronto, out of these two players, who do you think had more fun? Who partied more? Who got out more? Jalen Rose, what I have to say right here, my boy Jalen Rose, or Sonny Money Weems? Who do you think smashed more? Sonny?
Bro, Sonny, you could probably catch Sonny at Fillmore's, man.
Oh, man. With Chuck Hayes.
Yeah, with Chuck Hayes. And then they would go to George's Barbecue across the street right after, man.
Yeah, man. So you're going with Sonny Money Weems?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah,
J. Rose?
for sure. I remember like an interview with Sonny Weems. He probably didn't get too many here, but he got one, and somebody asked him like, "What's your favorite thing about Toronto?" And he straight up just said, "The girls."
Absolutely.
The girls.
Oh man, he went so hard. I remember seeing a picture when he was here. There was him, and he had triplets He had one picture. He
Oh
had
my
triplets, these Asian triplets, and I was like, "Oh my God, Sonny is going hard. He is going hard here." So,
Probably went to the docks on a Friday, man.
Oh, probably, right? Probably pool parties and all of that. So, okay, so you're going A-Rod, you're going Sonny Weems.
100%.
Steve-O, you're going Sonny Weems.
Yeah.
I heard a story back in the day about Jalen Rose, though. I heard it through the grapevine, through somebody that I know who dabbles in an industry that sells certain products. And supposedly a certain product may have been sold to our boy Jay Rose, and that certain product usually equals a type of party. And I'll just leave it at that. Some of that Colombian rock. So I just keep it at that. So if Jay Rose, and I'm not calling you out, Jalen, if you ever watch this, I'm not trying. Maybe I am calling you out a little bit, but probably. But I heard it. I heard that this was the case. So that tells me that in your time here, you were having some White Vegas Mona nights. So, anyways, I'm going to have to go Sonny Weems as well, though, because of that guy. He was only here like a month, and I think he just ran through the entire city.
He was pretty good for us, though, honestly. He wasn't a bad...
The Young Guns.
Bad when he was here, yeah. He was all right.
No, what was the Young Guns? It was Ed Davis, Sonny Weems, DeMar, Jarrett Jack.
Jimmy Graham was
Joey
that?
Graham.
Joey Graham, sorry, yeah.
He was
Graham.
a beast.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He was a solid dude, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was solid.
Yeah.
He was solid. I was gonna put him in one of the street fights, and maybe that'll come later on.
You
Okay.
know whose name is like on the tip of my tongue right now? I just can't remember. Like it's with a J, man, and he was a skinny, light-skinned guy, small forward.
Jamario Moon?
Thank you.
Hey!
There you go. Yeah.
He was in the dunk contest.
Yeah. My buddy loved that guy back in the day, man.
He was exciting. He was fun to watch. Yeah, that's
He had hops.
Mario.
Yeah, he had hops, that guy.
Hey, one of the greatest names. That's one of the greatest basketball names of all time. Jamario Moon.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's jump into the next game. So the next game is tomorrow, Friday. It's the Bulls at the Raptors. The Lonely Bulls. We got Zach LaVine not even wanting to play anymore. He wants out so bad that he's not talking to reporters. He's not even... I think he took 8 shots last game. He doesn't even want to shoot. He doesn't want to move. Basically, his agent... What's his agent's name again? Rich Paul is just telling him, don't move. Don't move. Walk. Barely dribble. We're getting you out of here soon. So what do you guys want to see? And give me a prediction. Wins, loss. If you want to give a score for these fan-duelers that may be watching.
We're probably gonna get another close one with the Raps Bulls, man. Something chaotic, something crazy. Personally, I'm just happy to see DeMar in town, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always nice to see him. What would I like to see out of the Raptors? Maybe a cleaner game. I know the Bulls have some guys that are pretty handsy, in Patrick Williams and Caruso.
Yeah.
So maybe, a few less turnovers, a little bit better offense, something a little bit more smooth. I'm not really going to give a prediction, but I think it's going to be kind of chaotic, maybe within 5 points.
Caruso reminds me of a guy who works down at the dock, like a collector. Like he's a collector that runs numbers. You know what I mean? Anyways. So you got Raptors?
I'm going to say either or. Just 5-point game, man. I
5-point game. Okay. What about you, Steve-O?
Yeah, I got the Raptors. I think this is a redemption game. That last game they played was one of the weirdest, most bizarre games I've ever seen. I felt like after watching that game, my IQ just dropped. I felt dumber after watching that game.
Like Precious Achua trying to run the point.
Yeah, and just so many people jumping on pump fakes and fouling and
yeah.
There was just pure craziness to end that game.
DeMar missing free throws and all that. Yeah.
I think we should have won that game. So I think the Raptors probably feel that way too. So I think this is a redemption game for them. I think they're gonna win 112-107.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go... I like that. I'm going to go with... You know how you said, what's his name's going to be a Raptor killer moving on? Who are we talking about?
Yeah.
Anyways, the Bulls seem to be that team.
Yeah.
The Bulls, it doesn't matter how bad they are, who they have on the court. It doesn't matter. They just seem to have our number now for some reason. They went years without beating us. Remember that? And then all of a sudden now we can't beat them. So I honestly think Raptors, unfortunately, are going to lose this game. And I think we're going to lose it by 8 or more. So unfortunately, that's the way I see
I thought
it.
you were going to say we're going to lose it by one scream.
So yeah, that too. Yeah, I want to bring up one thing, a sign of respect. I think the whole NBA world, the basketball world, the sports world should salute one man right now. I think we should all stand up and salute Mr. Popovich for what he did last night against the Clippers. You catch that, A.Rod?
I did.
He grabbed the microphone. He grabbed that mic and said, "Shut the fuck up. Stop booing Kawhi right now." And he told the whole stadium to shut up, basically. Like, I think that was so classy, one. I think, two, I think that right there just, we need more of that in sports. We need more of that real shit. I don't know. What do you guys think before we bounce out? We only have a couple minutes, but
I bet the audience did shut up. Like I have no way of knowing. I didn't watch the game. I didn't.
No, they
see
kept
anything.
booing. They kept booing.
Did they?
They kept booing.
Okay. I thought if they're gonna listen to someone,
no, they didn't listen. They didn't listen.
I thought Pop would be the guy to be able to just hush the crowd, but maybe not. He's still a G regardless.
100%.
That was a G move.
You were shaking your head, A-Rod. Why?
Oh no, I was just saying. I saw it and I was just kind of like, it was kind of like old man yells at cloud.
Yeah,
it was like that meme
bit.
for me, So,
it's like an old man yelling at a voicemail.
I mean, people are gonna do what they're gonna do, man. The one thing I dislike about what people do in the audience is don't ever cheer for injuries. That's garbage.
Oh man.
I don't care if you want to boo somebody, but don't cheer when they're hurt on the court.
No, you don't do that.
Like that's some bullshit,
Never.
man.
No.
So that in itself annoys me, but everything else, I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
Well, that's going to be it, boys. Steve-O, Neighborhood Steve, thank you for coming by. And
thanks for having me.
Thank
It's
you,
fun.
Steve. It was
man,
great.
sharing your time with us. That was a lot of fun, and that was real easy, man. It was fun talking with you, and we should definitely do this again.
Anytime,
A-Rod,
man.
Steve-O,
Salute, boys.
salute to Popovich, you old man, you. And till next time, my friendly friends. This was another Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast with your host, you know who it is, Mr. L. Hoopo, Mr. Hoopo, with A-Rod, A-R-O-D, and today's special guest, as you know, Mr. Steve-O. And let's leave it at this. If Popovich tells you to shut the fuck up, you should probably shut the fuck up. Till next time, bye-bye.